Church. We're glad that you're here with us this morning. My name's Matt Hall. I'm the lead pastor here at South Point Church, and we're excited about our upcoming journey called Defining Moments. Why don't you come join us? South Potomac Church. That's kind of where it all started. There was a group of people traveling from St. Mary's up to South Potomac Church, and they asked the then pastor Brent Brooks if maybe there could be a church like that down here in St. Mary's. I can remember when Brent asked me, would you be willing to plant a church? And I had a question I think most people have when it comes to planting churches. Do we really need another church on another corner? And you know what? I discovered there's some amazing facts. Did you know that 4 out of 5 churches are in a state of decline? Half of the churches in the U.S. don't lead a single person to become a follower of Christ in a year. America has almost 200 million unchurched Americans. That makes us the largest unchurched nation in the world. Did you know there are over 300 churches that close every month with only 15 that open? Penn State did a survey and it said that 70% of our population is considered unchurched. What I realized is we needed a different kind of church, a church for the unchurched, a church that would have a vision and a mission, a place where you and I can invite our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers, our family to a safe, inviting place where people in a real and relevant way could experience a defining moment with the person of Jesus Christ. One of our first steps was to have a group of people who met and dreamed of what this would look like. So we did this at the College of Southern Maryland. We had 3 of them over the summers. And then after that, we did some practice services at the Southern Maryland Higher Education Center in the old wing. And we did that for 3 months, and we started off with about 30 people till we grew to about 100. And then in January of 2005, we launched this thing called South Point Church. And in the first couple years, we grew to 3 services. We moved to Leonardtown High School where we continued to grow. And God was doing something amazing. The problem though is we were running out of room. There wasn't enough kids' rooms. There weren't any rooms for high schools or middle school students. And we realized as a church, we needed to think long term so that we could continue to create defining moments in the lives of people, because we really are all about connecting the disconnected.
Hi, we're Paula and Jamie, and we have been married for almost 9 years. We moved to Maryland about 3 years ago, at which point we didn't have a church home any longer. And it took us about 1.5 years to come to South Point, and during that 1.5 years, we really became disconnected, not only from God, but from each other. Our marriage got to the point to where we were almost considering divorce, and we didn't know where to turn. But we did know that in order to get our marriage back on track, we needed to first connect with God, because we knew that without Him, there would be no hope for our marriage.
You know, the disconnect was more within ourselves, and as we started getting more connected with ourselves, we got closer to each other as husband and wife. I became a better father, a better husband, and we started working within the church from there.
And the small groups really gave us the tools to help work on our marriage and move forward once we got reconnected. We are very active in South Point. Paul actually helps teach the youth group at the high school level, and it's just a perfect fit for him because he gets to be a nut and still minister to the kids. And then for me, I get to utilize my admin skills, and I recently was able to become the church admin.
And I can honestly say that without South Point, our marriage would not be where it's at today. We probably would not be married. I would not probably be walking with the Lord, and we would not be the happy couple you see before you today.
It's been said that people matter deeply to God. Therefore, people should matter deeply to us. At South Point, we desire to be a place that is real and relevant, a place where you can come as you are, and you don't have to play religion. It really doesn't matter where you're at in your spiritual journey. One of the ways at South Point Church that we want to connect the disconnected is to Jesus Christ. You see, we're not into the process or program of religion. we're into the person of Jesus. We've had over 3,500 first-time visitors in our 5-year existence. In those 5 years, we've had over 400 yes responses to Jesus. And those just didn't happen by accident. Did you know that we move the equivalent of a 3,000 square foot house every Sunday because we believe that so much? We have 80 to 100 volunteers serving every Sunday. We believe that knowing and following Jesus is so important that we want to have a second to none, 18 and under ministry. The second way South Point wants to connect the disconnected is to community. You see, together we want to help people take their next steps in their journey with Jesus. At South Point, we don't want to just be a friendly place. We want people to have friends that they can journey through life with. I don't know if you knew this, but we have over 200 adults in weekly small groups because we really value creating opportunities for people to connect with other people in community. The third way we want to connect the disconnected is to a cause worth living and dying for, to bring up there down here. We support our local community groups like Hope and CareNet and InterVarsity and Young Life. And then in our own local community, we take on projects within the church and outside the church because we really do want our community to know that we just don't care with words, but that we care with action and deed.
I've always been a believer, but not always a follower. My daughter invited me to South Point Church 2 years ago. The first time I went was because she invited me. The second time I went was because I really enjoyed the music that they played before the service. The third time I went was because I really enjoyed it. South Point is really a great church. Our motto, no perfect people allowed, is a motto you can definitely live by. If you're not Jesus, you're not perfect. Matt's message each Sunday, not only do I feel it and believe it, but it helps me throughout the week. I can carry it with me Monday through Saturday. I've had the opportunity to serve on different crews throughout the church. The PIT crew, I'm a greeter, I'm on the creative team. Well, I've met a really great number of people that are really nice people. I'm proud to call them my friends. Thank you, South Point. Thank you, Jesus.
We knew when we moved back to the high school in 2007 that it was an interim solution to the growth challenge we were facing. We knew that a permanent location, a permanent home, was the long-term goal to help us best reach the unchurched people in our community. At South Point, we are thrilled that we have a signed contract on a beautiful 45 acres that is in one of the most strategic locations in all the county that will help us best reach our community. We're excited about the opportunity God has put before us. You see, a building, a location, those things are just a resource and a tool so we can care, reach, and impact our community. Our current facilities are inadequate to strategically reach those who are disconnected from God. While we're grateful and thankful for the use of Leonardtown High School, the reality is, well, the auditorium, it's outdated and it's dark. We're limited in our staging and our lighting and our creative ability to create defining moments. We can't mark significant moments in the lives of people's weddings and funerals. We have limited space for people to connect relationally. I mean, think about our high school and middle school students. We're running out of room and our children's area is busting at the seams. And we'd love to have space to create next step opportunities for adults to connect on Sunday mornings. So the big question is how do you and I respond to this defining moment in the life of South Point Church? Would you be willing to commit to come to several Sundays in a row? Would you come next week, April 18th, the following week, April 25th, May 2nd, and then on May 16th, Commitment Sunday? Would you be willing to pray? Just simply ask God, hey, what is it that you would have me to do? How am I going to be a part of the next steps at South Point? And then number 3 is make a spiritual response. At some point during this journey, just try to listen and say, what is my part in this? I mean, what is it going to take for us to move forward and have a permanent home that will help us reach the people in our community? Well, the reality is it's not going to happen without people. Without a community of people, the next steps at South Point won't happen. 2, it's going to take resources. I mean, that's just the reality of life. It's going to take time, it's going to take energy, and it's going to take finances. And the third thing it's going to take sacrifice. Everywhere you look in the Bible, when God moves, people respond by sacrificially giving of their time, their resources, their energy to be a part of what God's doing. Why are we going to have people spend their time and energy to have a permanent location? The answer is found in the Bible. Matter of fact, it's 1 Corinthians 5, and the author is the Apostle Paul. And he says this, "For Christ's love compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all have died." I mean, that pretty much sums up what South Point is all about. It's not about a building. It's not about a permanent location. It's about Christ's love compelling you and I to love our community all around us on behalf of Jesus. I hope we come through this defining moment making Jesus smile.
Sometimes you will have the strength to rise.